Hello, welcome pen friends. I'm really excited to do this review today on the bullet journal template from Rickshaw bags. It is just awesome. Here it is right here. And we're going to look at it and then, whoops, if I can keep it in the frame, we're going to look at it real good. And then I'm going to get my bullet journal out and we're going to play around with it and I'll show you what you can do with it. But you're limited only by your own imagination because this is really nice. I had seen it on Instagram and I picked one up. I was ordering stickers that I needed anyway. You see that word coming in there? I needed stickers. But I had been wanting one of these. So this is what it looks like. I got the 5mm one. And they have another size too, which is I think 5.5mm. But it says on their website to go ahead and check the dot spacing in your notebook and to contact them if your dot pattern is something different. If it's not 5mm or 5.5, contact them. Because I don't know, maybe they can make a custom one, but I can't speak for them. But that's what it does say. So it's really neat if you go to Instagram and you scroll down, they actually show the making of these, or it was a little portion of that anyway, and I thought that was really neat. So you've got your like to-do squares and then the circles here, and then the little, like I would use something like this to migrate a task forward or to indicate, you know, anything like that, either special or everybody has their own bullet journal key, you know, however you want, what the little symbols will mean to you. But I like all three of those. And then additionally, it has the back and the forward migration. I think navigation. So if you're going to continue or you're going to give maybe a page number where that subject continues, because sometimes we don't know when we set up a spread that we're going to go ahead and do pages that may be separated. So we might put one of these and then put 57. So, and that would indicate like it's continued on page 57, the same subject. And that's, you know, that's just my view or how I learned it from Ryder Carroll's site. And then on the side here, if you see these numbers, this whole thing is actually 10 by 16 squares. So it's 10 squares, and I'll show you when we get the bullet journal out, by 16 squares. But right here, this little guide, you can quickly measure 5 squares, 10 squares. You know, that's just a quick reference, and it has it on both edges. And besides that, I know that I'll use this little flat edge as kind of a little mini ruler. So, geez, it's hard for me to like slow down and take it by what I've written down here. I'll see if I can do it, but I'm really excited about this. That's why. So I mentioned the square counter on the side. The thing is, they list that it's flexible, translucent, 20 mil plastic. And what we'll do when we get into the bullet journal is look at a couple of other stencils that I have. But what sets this apart is you've got several of these. So even if you wanted to make a long list, you're not having to use one and then one. And I'll show you because I actually have one that has just one. Let's see. But it's like a ruler and it has one of these squares. But I just find it a lot more convenient to have them all on, you know, like to have 5 of them like that is really, really, really neat. Okay, so then it is $7, but to me it's worth every penny. It's really nice material. It's not too thick, and that is a thing. Sometimes if a stencil's too thick, then you're limited severely on which pens you can use that'll really fit in there right without making it too narrow. You know, and I'll show you. We'll do some of that when we get in the bullet journal. So I said it was 2 sizes, and contact them if you have a different size. Okay, I love that it's small and portable, and it comes with this little sleeve that looks like a credit card protector. So that's really nice too, because that'll keep it especially clean. But I don't think you need to keep it in that. It's just really handy to have. So let's compare it to the size of a regular gift card. Here is an Amazon gift card. So the bullet template is smaller than that. Whoops. I'm having trouble keeping within the boundaries here. And let's put them side by side. You see how it's well within that limit. And that makes it portable where something like this might actually stick out of, and this is a great ruler. I carry this in my A5. I'm not trying to at all say anything bad about this one. This is really nice, and I use it all the time as it's a 6-inch ruler. So it's really nice. But if you have like a small passport like this, and you just want to put it in there, you can make it fit. This is a Chic Sparrow pocket size. You can make it fit right in one of their little pockets, and you've always got it, and it's just, it doesn't take up hardly any real estate, so it's really special. I mean, because the ruler would go in this one, and it would stick out, let's see, let's be fair here, it would stick out about maybe an inch, and that's fine, but that's an actual thing for me, is I would like to have something in there, and I have to make sure that it's small enough. So let's see, durable. I really feel that it's durable. I feel that quality. It's something I can't really, translate to you, but it's not flimsy at all. It's nice and strong, but it is flexible. And then, I find that it's very simple, but totally functional. I like that it has multiple boxes. I mentioned that. And it's the idea of it being thin. So it comes in between stencil. I might as well just get this out. This stencil here is much more flexible. And it's real, real thin. And that's okay, but sometimes when you're using it, you do have to really hold it close to where you're drawing or making your image. It's nice that it's thin. It's a good... the thin ones have their advantages, but this is thin without being too thin, so that's really nice. It's quite a bit thinner than this ruler. Let's see if we can... Ooh, I'm bouncing around. And yet it's not that much thinner. It just... You'd have to almost feel it, and it's well worth it to get one. So I'm not sponsored, paid. I bought this for myself, and I'm buying another one because I need one in 2 journals, I discovered, and so I'm really excited about it. Okay. Oh, I wrote down another thing, but we'll mention that when we get there. Okay, so dislikes. I just flat out don't have any. And the only thing I could think of as far as a dislike was that I don't have like a dozen of them right here, right now. Because if I did, I'd send them to pen friends. I'd hoard a couple for myself and have one in every workable book that I'm using. But let's get into the bullet journal, and I'll show you, kind of like how it looks and how it performs in there. Because that's where you can really see. So I'll be right back. Okay, I am back. As you can see, I just got started with some just for myself to kind of see the difference. When I first started here, let me zoom in on that and we'll see if we can. I did not line it up to where the square was straddled correctly over a square in this one. So I went and redid it over here, and I did do it that way. Like the way that I did it on this one, it's exactly lined up side to side with the 10 squares, so that, as you could see vertically here on the side, it started right with that dot. But if lining it up this way, your square is exact. And this is just for me, I just wanted to see it. You wouldn't be probably tracing the whole thing. But it also shows you how this grid works here, this, that you can count real easily. You just lay it down, make sure your 0 is on a dot, and then you can quickly count. Like I like to do for my ink journal, squares that are 5 by 5, and it just makes it super fast, to just do that, and you're going to end up with a precise line too. So there's so many uses for me personally, I can't even begin to tell you. But, okay, so there's that and this. So let's talk about pens, because that is one of the things that some of the thicker stencils, and this one's not like super thick, but sometimes if it's really, really thick, then if you end up with say you're using a ballpoint Papermate 1.0 millimeter, if you go ahead and take a tiny box like that, well, let's put it up here so we don't waste the whole... it's okay to do that, but then it can sort of make your box a little smaller. And this is just so precise. I just love it. I love this. Let me go ahead and make it with this. It's a small difference, but I noticed the difference. I really felt like that's exactly the size, and that's the kind of thing that I really like, is precision myself. So, okay, so you can I have used all of these pens. and had great results. So let's just run through some of them. So like this is just a Bic, like somebody at the bank might give you one like this. And then this is just a pencil, but it's a 0.7, and it's pretty thick, so I wanted to try it with that. And then we have Staedtler, the Tri-Plus Plus fine liner. Mercy, I can't talk. I do happen to like them when they're like this because they're nice and thin, and they do get into a template or a stencil really well. And then I tried it with the G2 because a lot of people use G2s in their bullet journals. So do I sometimes, not all the time. This is just an old favorite, Lee pen, and it does have a nice kind of a felt tip, pointed. And so I mean, I just grabbed a variety just to show you that you're not limited to one pen for sure. Stabilo, this is the 88, the fine 0.4. These are excellent, and these work super good with this and with the other stencils, even the really thin ones like this. So I do love having these around. And then let's see, okay, here's the old ballpoint, which is not really fair because it's so wide. It's a thick one, but I wanted to see if it would work because I actually went through a simplicity or a minimalism streak for a while where this is all I used was a ballpoint black pen in my bullet journal just to get back to basics. And so I tend to do that sometimes in July when they have one book July. I'll try to just strip it down and be more concerned with function than prettiness, and that's one of the things. But this is my favorite, and it's been through a battle. It's the Pigma Micron 01. It's my very favorite pen for my bullet journal in terms of this kind of thing, you know, setups, and I also love my pencil. So I thought maybe we would just go through and just play, I guess, just do some. So this is my #1 preferred one, and what's so neat, like I said about this, is you just line it up and just takes a jiffy, and then you can make some boxes quick and so precise, you know, and I do like that. I admit it. I don't mind messiness in some cases, but in my bullet journal, I really like it pretty. So there we have, you know, those, and if you want to continue, just, you know, find your next space there. So you could make an entire, like, oh, I was going to make this a wish list page, but I definitely get cart in front of the horse sometimes. I also talk fast, but anyway, you could go down through and make an entire list like that, and it just, doesn't that look neat? It does. It looks to me neater than what I can do with my hands. You know, just, and I can do that. I make boxes like that in here all the time. But then you've also got the circle option, which is so cool. All you got to do is just get it in there. Let's see, I guess it would be easier to just line up the squares and then make the circles. But it's just, I love this. And it's so little. It's like, how can something so little be such a joy? But it is. And then you've got the forward angles. Oh, I probably should be trying some of the other pens just to show you. I've already run them through their paces. And then I also like this, you know, this forward one would be probably down at the bottom where it would show me that I also had more about a subject. I might take 5 pages of notes, and then it's time for me to do a weekly spread or even a daily thing, and I'm not really continuing, but then later in the book I may continue and finish the notes on a certain book. Then all I do is on the last page, you know, put something like that that indicates it's continued. Okay, so let's try. I don't know really which ones you would like to see, but I did think it was really neat that the pencil did just fine, because that's a 0.7. And I've been using pencil a lot more in my bullet journal because here's the deal. When I use the pens, you know, this one's really good about not doing this, but some of the pens will stop and make a glop, and I just don't like that. But the pencils for making borders and just drawing out basically, you know, a long line around or making columns, it's just perfect for me. And then if I make mistakes, I just erase. So I was really pleased how this pencil, now I do have it pushed out just a little, let's see, maybe just slightly more than you would if you were writing with it, but I always do that with stencils. And I don't think you have to, I just like doing it that way. Whoops, I started right off without even. So as you could see, that's, you know, that's two, those are the two that I would use the most, my Papermate Clear Point and my Pigma Micron. And then let's just grab this one. I probably should be, this is the Stadler, or I'm not sure if I'm even saying it right. I have a bunch of these that I had gotten when I started bullet journaling, and I'm still using them up. They last a long time. This is a little bit wider of a line, but it still works really good with this template here. And these don't bleed through, or at least they didn't last time I used them. Let's do a check. Okay, they shadow a little heavier. So they do shadow, and all of these shadow some. Well, maybe not the pencil. Where was the pencil? Pencil right there. Yeah, the pencil had the least of the ghosting or shadowing. Anyway, I am super enthusiastic about this. Let's go ahead and try the Pilot G2. Of course, you know, that's not very extra thick or anything. And let's just try that. Let's see if I can get it in the view. Oh, yeah. I could probably do this all day. I know I'm going to be using this thing so much. And I already have a home for it in the front of this bullet journal. There. And so, because that's always my concern with any kind of stencil is, am I going to be able to use the pens I want to use? This pen may be getting old. It is definitely old because I'm using up really old supply. Okay, I could do this all day, but I don't think you want to watch me do this all day. Anyway, I love it, and I can see that it'll be a quick, easy, like what I was telling you about those boxes I make. I wouldn't use red. I would use my pencil. When I go in and do an ink flight or something like that, I would do a 5 box, so it just makes it so quick. And I can't tell you how many times I did it wrong and would then realize, oh, and, you know, and if I used a pencil, fine, but if not, I would have this big old line that I had to, where I made one of them 6 by something instead of the 5. So I am just super excited about this, and happy to have one and wanted to share it with you. So I'll show you where I put it in my bullet journal. I put it in the front, and I've just been putting it here. I don't believe it'll fall out, but I also have this other option. Let's see. Oh, that Velcro is, I could put it, just to be sure, I could put it up there. What's holding me back here? My own fingers, probably. Yeah. Yeah, so I could put it in there, but that's not a very deep pocket. And I could put it in here. Oh, that's better. I know that I wouldn't lose it if I put it in there. I don't want it to fall out. And that's, oh, I wasn't even showing you. Anyway, that's where I like to keep some of my other stencils, is up in here. But I could tell that I might panic if I think that I've lost that. So probably better put it where it sticks out a little, because this isn't leaving the house right now. Okay, so there's something else I wanted to show you. This was the last thing I wrote down that didn't really relate to what I was talking about. One of the most fun thing about ordering from Rickshaw is getting stickers. So I just wanted to show you a couple of my stickers. I think we can get them in here. Let's see. Oh, they have the best stickers, and people love these stickers. I love to share them, and I love to use them. That's my 2 favorite uses for their stickers. The first favorite is to put them on the front of... this is not working out too good, is it? Is to put them on the front of notebooks. And the second favorite use for these stickers is to send them in pen pal letters. So these are just some of them. These were part of a blessing and curse set. This is the elephant, and I think it's a dragon. Anyway, Manuel got 3 of them, and I got 3. And then this is the pelican sticker. I love that. And then this was part of the pack that you can get with these, the pen is mightier than the sword. I haven't had any of those in a long time. And then these they just threw in with a little nib. Anyway, it's one of the most fun parts about ordering from them. So I hope you enjoyed this. If you're like me and you like bullet journaling, I really don't think this is just for bullet journalers. I actually think that anybody who likes to make lists, and it's interesting how when I was making this the cover shot for this video, it really does show up best on a paper, you know, paper like this. So I ended up finding this so that you could actually see the color. And I really think it's worth it to hop on over to their Instagram and see the little machine making these cuts. Oh my gosh, it was really fun to do that. Makes me wish I lived nearby and could hop in and have a tour of their shop. So, okay, I think I've gone on long enough, and I hope I've covered everything, but if you have any questions, let me know. And I'll try to answer them in the comments. And I hope that you are well and healthy and having a good day whenever you watch this. Bye for now.